Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored this week by Stern & Spiegel LLP, 5168-731683. Let us solve your problems. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dan, and hey, Norm, what's going on?
Hey, Dave.
So, you know what, we could probably do the whole show with the school board, but let's start and see where we end up. This past Tuesday, on the 9th, we all met at the secondary school, and the candidates had their forum. What were your top-line impressions?
For me, this is democracy. And somebody actually mentioned that to me in the crowd. There were only about 50 people who attended this meeting from the public, and I think a good portion of them were part of the PTA or the board. And I think it was an opportunity for everybody to have a say, about what their platform is, what they know about education, what plans they have for the future. We gave them an opportunity after the meeting, each of them, to spend a few minutes with us separately and speak their piece. So I think this was really perfect.
And I think that's what we're all about, bringing the video. So first, let me remind the audience that the complete coverage of the forum is on our website, westhempsteadecho.com. And as Norm just mentioned, you could also see all the candidates as we took them after the meeting and we asked them a bunch of questions, and you can learn a little bit more about them as well. So those videos are posted on the site, along with the budget and pretty much anything else you would want to know about what's going on with the elections.
Right.
What did you guys think about the tone of the meeting? Kind of the sound, the vibe in the room?
So, for the most part, I think the tone was congenial. But then when they got into some of the questions, I think there was a little contentious comments going back and forth, and probably like right from the get-go. So, there's 4 candidates, and there's clearly divisions between the first 2 and the second 2, and that really played out.
Yeah, but I think it was appropriate. I mean, these people had a chance to speak their piece, so they're going to be contentious, of course, because they don't all agree on what needs to be done in the future, what has been done in the past, because there's an existing board member that's running again for, second or third time.
Yeah.
So there are people who have experience here and people who are coming in with no experience, but ideas.
But you know what, Norm, let's kind of dive in. So really, at the end of the day, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 2 candidates. We're looking at Tom Sargent, and we're looking at Joe Magaracci, and who are, I think, more closely aligned with the current school board and have much more of a history with the school and the school systems, and including the fact that Joe is an incumbent on the school board. And you have the other 2 candidates. You have Barry Leon, and you have David Lazar, and they're coming out from the outside, and they're basically looking for fiscal responsibility and accountability, and that's their primary.
Yeah, and I think where the edge was is that the people who are on the pro-board side resent the fact that there isn't transparency. Joe specifically mentioned that anybody in the public that wants to sit down with Joe will go through all of the numbers with you. He'll take you line by line. If you have issues with the way the accounting is being done, he'll go through it with you. And I don't think anyone's taken him up. I think maybe Lazar did meet with him at least once, maybe twice. So there is some concern on his part that he could do a better job. I'm not sure whether anybody else was buying that on the panel.
So, speaking about Joel specifically, so if you go to westhempsteadecho.com, you will see the complete interview that we had with Joel and that we had with Karen Brom about the current status of the schools and the school board. And you're right. I mean, Joel is very transparent. That's his job. He will explain, to anyone and everyone what's going on with the budget. Not everyone is really going to be able to grasp, the 85 pages that are there, but the information is available. He was transparent in my conversations, but arguably we didn't dive into some of the real fine details. And
Right. We weren't this was not an investigative report. We were inviting them here to speak their positions, to explain where they're coming from with their numbers, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're in a position to understand the 25 to 50 pages that are relevant to some issues that people are bringing up.
So let me point out, just to be clear, what the arguments that were going on during the event on Tuesday night, the arguments questioning the budget, I think we're raising the possibility that partly because enrollment is down, partly because we've got reserve funds that are potentially available to be spent. The questions that seem to come up over and over again, particularly from Mr. Leon and Mr. Lazar, who would be new to the board, were about whether we're spending the money as efficiently as we could, where we could find cost savings, all the rest of it. Look, I'm the last guy on the planet who should be looking at numbers and budgets because I don't understand any of it. But I do think if the voters need to see this, it is up to them to see what they can figure out. The candidates who are questioning it are raising the idea that maybe we're spending more than we ought to be.
Yeah.
Well, there's a distinct possibility we are spending, but it can't be a significant number, I don't think. But it's up to the public to decide whether they believe a lot of what they've been hearing. For example, busing. They went out for bids. They got one bid. If you only get one bid, you have to take the one bid. You're a public entity. You have to go public with your options to people. And if only one company comes through, they need buses. And so they have to take it. Now, can you find a cheaper bus company? I don't think so. But if you can, I'm sure there's a savings there. Maybe we need to own our own buses. But these are specific issues that I don't think anybody addressed in detail.
No, and I would argue as well. I mean, look, one of the numbers that came out, I don't have any reason to doubt it personally, that 40% of the kids in the district are going out of district. This includes a lot of the Jewish kids going to the Jewish schools. There's Catholics going to Catholic school. I'm sure other private schools are out there. The number that we have been given is 18% of the budget is being spent towards those kids who are not physically in the West Hempstead
Yeah, but I don't have
buildings.
an issue with that because those 18% of the budget are paying into the public school. So are they covering their costs? Are those people who are being bused? Well, I don't know the answer to that either.
I don't know, but I think Norm should be running for the school board.
I got a full-time job at Echo.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. There is a second meeting that's going to be taking place on Thursday at the Young Israel of West Hempstead.
That would be tonight, by the way, for those of you listening at home, if we get this out on time.
And it may have taken place already. My understanding is that only two of the candidates are going to be there, so I'm not exactly sure if there's going to be a full exchange of ideas and information. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's the battle lines are there, and you can see it in the community. You can see it in the signs that are, on everyone's lawns. And, I think at the end of the day, we have four candidates that are very, very much focused on West Hempstead and the best interest of the community. They both have two different approaches, and it's really going to be up to the community to figure it out.
What they have in common is they want a strong school. A strong school system both in the public sector and the private sector. So obviously we've got good people trying to get a better school system. And we'll find out. We'll find out in 2 weeks, right? When's the election?
The election is actually coming up next Tuesday, the 16th.
Oh, right around the corner.
It's less than a week away, and today, in fact, if we get this out on time, you can still register to vote for the election. If you haven't, it's going to be too late after tomorrow, so we've only got 5 or 6 days left before the election hits.
Okay.
We wish all the candidates well, and good luck to the community.
And thank you for the school board for having us there.
And the PTA for sponsoring the event. So some other things that are going on in westhempsteadecho.com. We have a full entertainment video, if you will, from Ryan Kloss of Creative Corner. He'll let you know what's playing at Creative Corner, as well as the G and anything else that's happening around the community.
And we have the fair.
We had the fair, and the fair happened last week, and Echo was all over it. You'll see a bunch of videos if you go to our website. There was one video from the organizer, There was another video of the musician. There was the lion who actually was from the Lions Club, and he lifted up his lion mask so you can see who's underneath. And there was a turtle race. So I mean, it was really like a lot of fun.
Doesn't get more exciting than that in West Hempstead.
It really doesn't. And speaking of fun in West Hempstead, also on our site we have a video clip of events taking place at BTU on Hempstead Avenue.
Right.
The former Pompeii location for the rest of those of you who may not know it.
And there's a Jewish holiday of Lag BaOmer, and the holiday, it's a spiritual holiday, but it involves bonfires.
You know what? This is going to be one where it'll be too hard to explain. We recommend you Google it, but you may have
just
seen
Google it, and at the end of the day, you can see a bunch
music.
of people dancing around a fire, and it was very exciting. And last but not least, you guys went over to the brewery.
Dan and I had a great time. We brewed beer. And we watched how beer gets brewed from the water that they treat to the different hops and grains that go in, the care that's taken from Somerset Brewery. You're going to see a great story. It's coming up.
Yeah, if you haven't actually been over there, pop yourself over. It's on Cherry Valley, right next door to where the sanitation district is. Matter of fact, I think we're going back, Norm, if I'm not mistaken, Saturday night. It should be
the place
hopping
is supposed to be
over there.
hopping on Saturday nights and Sunday as well.
We're looking forward to introducing Somerset Brewery to West Hempstead.
Yeah, they pump out 20 different beers over the course of a month, so it should be exciting.
Fantastic. So you never know what's going to happen in West Hempstead.
What's brewing in West Hempstead?
Yeah, you know what? I should have used the what's brewing. Sorry, bad pun day. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this week in West Hempstead. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Norm, and join us next week, and we'll have the election results, and should be really, really interesting. So
have a great week.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We are also sponsored by Tiffany Dry Cleaners. They will pick up and deliver in West Hempstead and surrounding areas. If you would like to sponsor our program, much like Stern and Spiegel and Tiffany Dry Cleaners, please let us know at sales@westhempsteadecho.com.